Have you ever had one of those moments, where everything just seems to click? Like it feels like your inner world, your mood or thoughts somehow just lines up with what's happening around you, almost as if you were somehow shaping reality. Today, in this deep dive, we're really getting into that connection. The whole concept of energy. We're looking at it from, ancient wisdom all the way to some pretty cutting-edge modern science. And our mission really is to figure out how your consciousness, your inner focus, might actually be influencing the world you experience. We're digging into some fascinating stuff, drawing insights from sources like exploring ideas that honestly felt like ancient secrets for ages, but now they're popping up in science labs. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, exactly. And just to be clear, this isn't about, vague motivational quotes or just thinking positive. Not at all. This deep dive is more like a guide. We want to understand the mechanisms, right? How can energy actually be controlled? Why do so many people feel sort of disconnected or stuck? And critically, how do those measurable electromagnetic fields, the ones coming from your heart and your brain, how do they fit into all this? So, yeah, we're setting the stage for some, I think, pretty surprising facts, but also some really practical ways you can start using this knowledge.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that. So the journey starts with this really powerful idea, doesn't it? That energy cannot just be felt, it can be controlled. Just think about that for a second. Our ancestors, across so many different cultures, they often saw this basic energy as, well, as divine, didn't they? Something sacred, fundamental. And now, fast forward, modern science is talking about something that sounds awfully similar, the quantum field.
Hmm.
This idea that reality bubbles up from potential. It really feels like we're coming full circle back to some very old understandings, like that ancient Indian scripture, Yat Pinde Tat Brahmanda,
Hmm.
which means,
Essentially, whatever is within you is also present in this universe.
yeah,
The micro reflects the macro. And they didn't just mean that poetically, right? It was seen as an energetic truth.
an energetic truth. Wow.
And what's really striking is how consistent this was. You look at the Indus Valley people, the Maya, Egyptian mystics, Vedic sages, they all seem to share this core understanding. Energy is the basic stuff of existence. And, crucially, they believed it could be diverted and changed consciously.
Diverted and changed,
Yeah.
like manipulated.
In a sense, yeah. Think about concrete examples. The Ankh symbol you see in Egyptian temples, often interpreted as representing life force, energy flow, or kundalini power that yogis talk about, that deep, coiled energy within. Even tantra practices from Tibetan lamas, it all points towards a kind of, secret science of energy control. It wasn't just random beliefs, it was a coherent system, even if it got obscured later on.
So, okay, if this was so central, why did we kind of lose it? Or why did it fade from the mainstream? It seems like as humanity got more focused on the external, the material world, the stuff we can easily see and touch, this more subtle inner science just got pushed aside. Maybe not deliberately hidden by secret groups in smoky rooms, but more just dismissed, labeled superstition.
Yeah, possibly. Over time, people started believing only the outer world was truly real. And so this inner potential, this power became less active, less understood, just sort of dormant.
Right. So the big question then is what changed? What sparked this rediscovery? How are we linking it back now?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Because modern science, maybe unexpectedly, is starting to validate what these ancient cultures seem to know intuitively, without fancy equipment. You look at people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, the work done at the HeartMath Institute. Their research is actually showing that, yes, your heart and your brain generate these powerful electrical and magnetic waves. And here's the
Hmm.
kicker. These waves measurably affect the reality around you.
Measurably. So it's not just in our heads.
Exactly. It's not just imagination. It's a truth being understood through quantifiable data, through experience. It really represents a shift in how we see our own influence, doesn't it?
It really does. Okay, so if that's true,
Yeah.
then the implication is huge. It means your inner state, the energy you're putting out, is directly shaping the reality you perceive. So the question isn't if anymore, it's how. How do we actually control this inner energy?
It starts, I think, with understanding what your thoughts actually are. They aren't just abstract ideas floating around. They are quite literally waves of energy.
Like ripples in a pond.
Sort of. Every single thought, every feeling, every belief you hold it generates a specific energy signature, a vibrational frequency. Think of it like tuning a radio. Your thoughts send out a signal on a certain frequency, and the universe, in a way, resonates with that frequency. It brings back experiences, situations that match it.
Okay, so consciousness is like a projector.
That's a great analogy, yeah. Your consciousness is the projector, and the images inside you, your beliefs, fears, hopes, assumptions, Those get projected onto the screen of your life. And the lens, in this analogy, that's your subconscious mind. It's constantly sending out energy based on your dominant inner state.
Wow.
And this ties in really nicely with ideas from quantum physics, too. You've probably heard of the observer effect.
Vaguely, yeah. The idea that observing something changes it.
Kind of. The scientific details are complex and debated, but the analogy for us here is powerful. Your attention isn't just passively watching reality unfold. It's more like an active participant, like a spotlight, maybe. It decides which possibilities out of all the potentials in the quantum field actually become real for you, basically. Energy flows where your attention goes.
Yes, like it flows where attention goes.
Right. There's this story about a yogi deep in the Himalayas. Someone asked him if he ever felt fear living alone up there, and he apparently said something like, "Fear happens when the energy flows outwards. When you pull the energy inward, fear, death, hunger, they all become illusions." His sadhana, his practice, was about keeping his energy focused inward, centered. It's a powerful illustration, isn't it? Learn to control your inner energy, and you gain significant control over your experience of reality.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thoughts as energy, attention, directing that energy. Now, you mentioned the heart earlier. Let's open that door, because you said something pretty astounding. This finding from the Heart Math Institute, the heart's electromagnetic field, it's how much more powerful than the brain's?
5,000 times.
1,000 times?
Yes. It's not a metaphor. It's measurable physics, physiology.
That's incredible. So the heart is like this massive energy generator we carry around.
In a way, yes. And when your mind, your thoughts, your brain waves, and your heart, your feelings, its electromagnetic field, when they vibrate in sync, in the same harmonious state, that's what they call heart-brain coherence.
Heart-brain coherence, okay.
And it's not just a nice idea, it's a real measurable physiological state. Your heart rate variability smooths out, your brain waves shift. It leads to this deep inner calm mental clarity and this amplified energy field that feels like you're in the zone, totally aligned, like you're in harmony with, well, with the cosmic energy, as the source material puts it.
So if this state is so powerful, so beneficial, why don't more people experience it? You mentioned 99% don't really reach it consistently.
Well, the sources suggest it's largely because our modern world constantly pulls our focus outward. We're often bombarded with messages of fear, instability, lack, doubt. It keeps our attention scattered, externalized. But like we said, the door of energy opens inward.
Ah, okay. So it's an internal shift that's needed.
Precisely. And that's why, for centuries, you see yogis, sadhus, spiritual practitioners focusing so intensely on things like meditation, breathwork, pranayama, silence. They understood that by calming and stabilizing their inner waves, they could actually influence the outer reality. It links back to that quantum idea again, like Schrödinger's cat. In principle, no possibility is defined until one observes it.
So reality is just potential until we look.
In this framework, yes, it's undefined potential. So the critical question becomes, who or what gives it direction? And the answer is you. Your observation, your belief, your experience. It reinforces that fundamental law of creation we touched on. What you think is what you experience. Your inner state shapes your outer world.
Right. But it's one thing to know this intellectually, isn't it? You said knowledge comes from experiment. And when we talk energy, we have to talk emotions too, right? Because every emotion, every thought has its own vibration.
Exactly. Every single one. And this mix of vibrations creates a kind of subtle energy field around us. In ancient India, they called it pramandala. In the West, you might hear it called the aura. Different names, similar concept.
Okay, an energy field around us based on our thoughts and feelings.
Yes. And the problem with holding on to negative emotions, constant fear, anger, resentment, feeling inadequate, is that they distort this field. They mess with your life force. And over time, that distortion can affect your physical health, your mental state, even the kinds of events and situations that show up in your life.
So negativity literally creates blockages or distortions.
That's the idea. Now, consider something like the Tibetan concept of a tulpa.
A tulpa, what's that?
It's described as a kind of mental creation, something visualized so intensely with such focused emotional energy over a long time that it supposedly takes on a kind of life of its own, a perceived independent existence. Now, whether you take that literally or metaphorically, the point isn't magic. It's presented as an extreme example of how focused consciousness, imbued with strong emotion, can profoundly interact with or even manifest in external reality.
Oh, that's intense.
It is. But it highlights the core principle. Controlling your energy effectively means getting a handle on your emotional frequencies. Energy responds to intention, feeling, action. It takes the shape you give it. And that's why those ancient gurus really emphasize practices like silence, solitude, meditation, because when you quiet the external noise, your inner energy gets a chance to reveal itself, to gather strength, to show its true form.
Okay, this is all fascinating, but let's make it practical. If this is about experimenting, what can you, listening right now, actually do? How can you start to awaken and harmonize your own energy? We've got 3 methods highlighted here. Simple, but apparently very powerful things you can try daily. The first one is called an energy awakening technique, basically a morning meditation.
Right. The suggestion is to try waking up a bit earlier, maybe between 4 and 6 a.m. This time, called Brahma Muhurta in Vedic tradition, is considered energetically potent, very conducive to inner work. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, close your eyes, gently bring your focus to your heart area. Just breathe slowly, deeply, and as you breathe, silently repeat in your mind, I am energy, I am consciousness. Just do that for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. The idea is that repeating this in that quiet, receptive state helps reprogram your subconscious, your energetic field.
Okay, simple enough. Method number 2, the heart-brain coherence ritual. This is for during the day, right, when things get stressful.
Exactly. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, stressed, afraid, confused, just pause. Place a hand over your heart. Take a few deep, slow breaths, maybe for about 60 seconds. And here's the key part. Consciously recall a feeling, a memory or imagined state of deep love or real gratitude or profound peace. Really feel it in your heart. Let that feeling expand. Imagine it reaching up to your brain. As you do this, you might notice your breathing calms down, your heartbeat feels steadier, you'll feel that sense of calm vibration settle in. That is the state of coherence, and that's the state from which you can apparently direct reality more effectively.
Got it. Feel the good feeling, connect heart and mind.
Yeah, okay.
And the third one, removing blockages through rejection acceptance. This sounds intriguing.
Yeah, this is suggested as a nightly practice. Before sleep, get a piece of paper, write down the main negative emotions you felt during the day. Any fear, anger, frustration, insecurity, irritation, whatever it was. Then you safely burn the paper. And as it burns, you say aloud something like, I accept this energy and now I release it. It's symbolic, of course, but also intentional. It's about acknowledging the energy without judgment and then consciously letting it go. This helps clear out those distortions we talked about, removes blockages, and kind of resets your vibration for the night, initiating a cleaner energetic state.
Acknowledge and release. I like that.
It's important to see these as practices, though, like exercise. You don't get strong from one workout. These techniques, done consistently, are meant to expand your consciousness over time, leading to bigger shifts. But there's a heads up, a warning almost. As your energy does start to increase, as you become more aware, expect old stuff to surface, old patterns, limiting beliefs from society, internal conflicts. They might bubble up and try to pull you back into the old ways.
Like resistance.
Exactly, resistance from your own programming. The advice here is to cultivate witnessing. That means just observing these thoughts and feelings when they arise. See them, acknowledge them, but try not to get swept away by them. Don't attach, don't judge, just watch them pass.
Okay, so summing this all up then, the big takeaway from this deep dive seems to be, well, that you aren't just a body walking around. You are fundamentally an energetic consciousness. And you have the potential, maybe even the innate ability, to actively create your own reality. Your thoughts aren't just thoughts. They're energy waves shaping your experience right now. And your heart. It's way more than a pump. It's like a major gateway connecting you to the energy of the entire universe.
That's the core message, yes. And the implication is that this kind of knowledge, this understanding of inner power, has perhaps been obscured or downplayed, maybe to keep people feeling less powerful, more limited than they truly are. But the understanding is reemerging. And now you listening, you have the concepts, you have some practical keys.
So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. What happens on the day you truly deeply recognize yourself as this energetic consciousness? The sources suggest the universe will respond. It will bend for you. So the invitation is clear. Experiment. Try these ideas. See if you can rise above the old programs and step into the power that perhaps has been yours all along.